everyone, thanks for joining me here. I've got this Honda Trail CT70. Got this last year, traded a three-wheeler for it, and it's a little beauty. I love this thing. It's got a lifan 90cc engine in it, and it goes pretty good actually. But I went to start it and there's no go, so I need to figure out what's happening with this little girl. Obviously fuel related. I know it's a Chinese motor, who knows what's going on in there, but it ran pretty good. I do suspect that it's a carb related issue. But let's take a look at this little motor, see what's going down. I'm gonna check the spark plug first and just see how she looks. Some kind of little crazy Chinese plug on here. Don't even know what it is, but I am gonna check for spark. That's my main reason. See if it's fouled up or looking nasty. It's just a little rich. But it doesn't look like it's burning oil. Let's see if we can get a little spark out of her. There's a spark. Okay. Now what the previous owner did was he turned the light switch into the on-off switch. So down, high beam is actually on. Now we know that. So it's got a spark. That's good. It's awesome. Put that plug back in. I don't have anything to clean it with here today. So it's just gonna have to stay that way. Now, these lifan engines are basically a direct copy of the original Honda motors. They bolt right in. Get in there. No idea how long they last. But they're pretty cheap and they're a pretty quick fix to get these machines going again. There. Okie dokie. I'll just check the oil in it while we're here. Make sure that all looks good. This is a pretty fun little pit bike. We use this at the Toronto Snowmobile ATV and Powersports show for ripping around. Of course, it's got this custom exhaust on it. It's pretty loud, but it's pretty fun at the same time. It's got too much oil in it. Like way too much oil. I'm suspecting what Buddy did was checked it like this on its side. Is that right? Let me see. That's what he did. Too much oil in it. Check this out. You gotta make sure the engine is level. I'm checking that. I'm dipping it. It's way up, about halfway up the filler neck. That's too much. I'm gonna pour some of that out. You don't want too much oil in there. It's not good. One thing I did, I don't know if you guys saw me do that, I did drain the oil out of it, easy peasy. When I saw that there was too much oil in it, I smelled it to see if there was gas mixed in with it. Sometimes the needle and seat will leak, you know, just because it gets stuck and it sits there and then it flows down through the piston. I don't know if it gets through the valves or slips down through the piston rings and it sort of fills the crank up. And that's what I was looking for. But that's not the issue. There was just too much oil in it. That's not a good thing. Now, next thing to do, I'm just gonna pull that carb off real quick. Doesn't look original either. It looks like it's probably a Chinese carb. I'm gonna pull it off. One of these. Now there's no air box on this as well. I don't know what was in here originally. Never had one of these as a kid. They're more into three-wheelers when I was a kid. I did drain the old gas out of it. Didn't look too good. It was a little nasty. Get rid of that stuff. On the Elan, you got to check all these things. On the Elan, one of our lands with a Mikuni carburetor. The needle broke right off this winter and just fell right into the machine. It wasn't working right. You never know what happens. It's going to happen. We'll pop this carb off real fast. Take a look inside it. See what goes down. Maybe the old gas had ethanol in it. No idea. I got no idea. How cool is that? Look how easy this thing is to work on. Sweet. When we had this at the show in Toronto, one thing I know that was going down, this carburetor, there was an issue. The needle and seat was stuck and fuel was just pouring out of it onto the carpet. Not cool. So let's take a look inside here. There's no way to open this. I can't split the case. I can't take the bottom part of this off. All I can do is just drain whatever's in here. So that's what I'll do. I'll drain it. This is a throwaway carburetor. Who knows, there could be a piece of dirt in there. I'll send some, that's a lot of gas. I'll send some cleaner through there. I'm not a mechanic. You should be wearing your safety glasses. All mine are up at the property right now. That's just not going to happen. I'll get as much of that out of there as I can. Just brake parts cleaner. I think that these carbs are obviously just a throwaway item. Once they start to run bad, toss them. I use Chinese carbs in a lot of my bikes that don't run. Sometimes the carbs just get worn out, the passages in them. Put a rebuild kit in them, just don't work. So I use the Chinese carbs and they always seem to sort of come through for me. That's it. Put it back on. You know what, I think it's gonna run fine. I think what's going down is the, I think it needs well, we got that old gas out of there. Got that too much oil in there. I don't know if that'd really keep it from running. It was a lot though. And I think the key here is fresh gas. So fresh gas in it, and I looked, there's no fuel filter on it. So any junk that's in the fuel tank was going right in the carb. That'll definitely block a needle right. Let's just see what'll happen here. So it's on. Well, that's good. Carb's got to fill. Right on. Take her outside for a rip. I should have a helmet on. Runs pretty good. Now we've got to move on to another project. I think the boys are going to have some fun riding this summer.